Soul Talk. My name is Samuel.
And my name is Terrell.
And this week, we're going to be talking about love.
Talking about love, yes.
Speaking of love, we have a Valentine's Day drop on the Work Crew website. Got these new long sleeves in. Got Work Crew on the sleeve. Got the part with the screw through it. Real dope shirts. I'll leave the link in the description. It's going to be workcrew.bigcartel.com. I think they're like 30, 35, something like that. You know, not too bad. Real soft material, nice material.
And it's definitely a good business to invest in as well because he's a good guy.
Yeah.
A good friend of ours, and definitely local Houston.
Small business.
Yes.
Also, at the beanies, there's also like rolling papers and a whole bunch of other stuff on the website. Can't get too much into it, but really dope designs. There's gonna be stuff coming out all this year. So go to workcrew.bigcartel and get you some merch.
What is the website again?
Workcrew.bigcartel.com.
Okay.
What did I say wrong?
No, you said it right. I'm just trying to make it more clear for everyone else.
Yeah, no. All right.
Yeah, we're going to dive right into it. Start it off.
So this week we're going to be talking about love. We got Valentine's Day coming up.
Yeah.
Just a good, wholesome message, but we're sitting here trying to plan this podcast, and we have no idea where to start.
Okay, we have an idea.
Of course, but
We're not, yes, but it's just very gray. Of course, we all know, the meaning is very subjective and a lot of opinion based, situational things, and we're here to kind of try to summarize it all up into one episode. I feel like too, we could have this episode, have our experiences and perspectives on it, and maybe next year, episode 103, we do another one.
hell yeah.
On love and see our differences, our similarities, and see where we stand on that.
Hell yeah, I'd be really down for that.
Because you're always learning about love. Like, it's never ending. You can have it all figured out, but man, love is very hard out here.
I feel like everybody's interpretation of love is different. Everybody has a different version of how they receive love, how they give love. And to me, and I know I can speak for Terrell as well, it's just something that comes very naturally, something very easy. You just walk right in front of the fucking camera. That's cool.
Yeah.
Turn that shit off. It's loud. We should just break it. Just sit back down. Yeah, no, good. So for me, love is very genuine. It's very natural. It's a very easy thing for me to do as far as platonically, like brotherhood-wise. It's very easy for me to love T and be, have that sense of love for him. I say it's different whenever you get romantic, but yeah, it's different for everybody. So I say, where do we start? I say there's a difference between platonic and romantic love, in love and love, right? And T was talking about it earlier. You can argue it. Like you can argue, is there a difference?
Yeah, is there a difference between in love and love? And of course, saying friendship-wise, of course, we're not in love. But I will say if I do something for him out of the ordinary, I feel like I could do the same for someone I'm in love with as well. So it can tie in together. But it's why it's like
it's an awkward conversation,
Yeah.
but it's real. I mean, I say, we had a conversation maybe a couple of days ago. We're talking about how much we've grown and how much we've done over the past year and a half, knowing each other, getting close with each other, and like that shit'll make you tear up. Like that shit'll make you emotional. Just the solidity of brotherhood and the love that you have for one another, the compassion you feel. Yeah, like you said, he took my wine glass earlier and cleaned it out for no reason. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like there is a difference, but there's not at the same time.
But that goes to our next bullet point, which I think there's the unconditional part.
Of
And
course.
that's all you can do. Unconditional love with a friendship or, a significant other relationship, and as long as it's unconditional and having no expectations to have something in return. It's just, I'm doing this because I love you and I care for you.
I mean, I say in the past, as like a young kid, maybe like 14 to 15, I would get into relationships and I didn't have that no expectation. You know, I did have that expectation, or maybe you guys have friends or a significant other that you only do certain things for to get something out of it. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe it's subconscious. You know, maybe you don't know. That's something that I really had to look at with myself. Is, you know, am I loving this person to manipulate them and to make them give me stuff? Am I, you know, loving this chick just to get sex out of her? You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, it's a whole lot of different things that can really mess with your mental. I say with the unconditional part, loyalty definitely ties into it. You know, me and him don't even have to look twice at one another because we always know we're gonna have each other's back. You know, my love for him is the same as his love for me, and it'll always be that way. You know, same with like our other friends and relationships that we've been in as well.
And that goes into the love's got to be the same because, you know, everyone thinks 50-50, and that's conditional, 50-50, because it's supposed to be 100-100 with, you know, no conditions. I'm giving you 100% of my thought and actions and feelings, and you don't have to even give it back. You know, but of course, you know, you only get a few chances doing that.
Yeah, 100%.
But that's where the love is created, with 100% of each other, of two different individuals, and that creates security between one another, because wow, I gave him 100% for her, and they return it back. Like,
I feel like
wow, I trust and believe in that person to love me.
Yeah.
I love them too.
Absolutely. I was gonna say, tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like me and you had that security from the start, but it really, I say it took almost a year to be like 100%, like, you know.
Yeah.
And that's hard for me to say because, like, obviously it was real from the jump. But I mean, like, to a point to where, you know, you're in sync with one another. You both know what's going on. We read each other's minds and shit like that. Like,
It just, you have to learn each other down to the T.
yeah.
And then once you know, you know.
Fucking weirdo. Yeah, no, I feel you though. And I haven't really felt like I've had any relationships or friendships like I have with T, and I've always questioned why that was. And we were talking about it earlier. We were talking about like love languages, and he doesn't. I mean, I don't believe in it either. I say after our conversation, but you know, he's saying he wants all of them. You know, and
Yeah,
I see why.
A lot of people think you got to choose, or what's your love language? You know, because I kind of recently learned this, because it's never been. You know, people who know me, I'm not a societal person really, so I never really knew what they even were and why, you know. But once I found out, I was kind of like, wow. I agree with all five. It's 5 of them, I believe, and
I think there's 5.
yeah, I agree with all of them. Like, why do I have to choose? It doesn't make sense to me. It's almost like if you're a Republican, you have to choose this one person and believe in everything he believes in. So now that you're Republican, well, it's like, well, I believe a little what the Democrats say, I believe a little what the liberals say.
Yeah.
You know, everyone can be right in one category and be wrong in another category. So
I mean, I think that's the society we live in. You know.
that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
The society.
I mean, without saying too much, I think the people that run everything want segregation on all forms. You have men and women, black and white, gay and straight, all these different things. So I feel like whenever it comes to love, that's the last thing they want. So I will say that it is the most complicated thing.
It is and it isn't, but yeah. Because I feel like for me, I feel like it's not hard.
At all.
It's only hard because other people make it hard. It's just like life in itself. Life is easy, but we make it hard. But it's easy for me, but then you got to second guess because you can't trust people.
I mean, now that you say that, that makes sense.
So now it's like, well, dang, now it's hard because I can't love you the way I want to because I can't trust
Because
you.
you fucking up. Yeah, because you're not acting right.
Mm-hmm.
I feel you. I feel like we're all over the place. I mean, love is all over the place. You know what I mean? Whenever we're planning this, there's just so many things that run through your head whenever you think about love. You think of happy, sad, bad times, good times. And I think we could be 90 years old and be married for the rest of our lives and still not feel qualified to speak on this.
Right.
Because
it's so subjective.
It's a subjective matter, and it's also just such a natural thing. It's indescribable. I can't describe to you how I feel about T. It's just a natural brotherhood. You know what I mean? I could explain, but it would just be basic shit. Like, I just love dude. I don't know what, But, I would say one thing that makes us really successful in the platonic love setting is communication.
Communication is big. And not only just communication, but it's really honesty. Honest communication. How do you feel? How do you feel about the day? How do you feel about the future? Just how you're feeling towards one another.
Yeah.
How you feel if you're mad or angry, why you're mad or angry, so that someone can understand how to treat you, pretty much. It's like, oh, I didn't know that made you mad. You won't never know until you say something. And a lot of people struggle with not only being honest and communicating, but they struggle with it themselves. Like, it's hard for them to speak their feelings out loud.
I'd say for me,
That was myself for a long time.
That's what I was about to say. Whenever I was like, I say up until I was about 18, 17, like.
Nah, it took me a long time.
Well, yeah, because, I feel like it has a lot to do with self-confidence and also what love looks like in your life at the time. For me, I did not love myself at all. Therefore, I didn't respect myself, So if you're disrespecting me, why would I say anything if I'm disrespecting myself on a daily basis? I can't expect anybody to love me until I love myself. And once I love myself, I love everybody. That's what he told me. And it's 100% true. I feel like once I started really loving myself and trying to take care of myself truly, love came easier than it ever has. Romantically, platonically, on all levels. I'd say romantically, and I know you're the same way, romantically, love is fucking hard, man. It's hard for me because I don't trust a lot of people, just due to childhood things, and not. I don't want to get deep into it, but just things that have happened to me that made me not trust people that are supposed to love you unconditionally, and because that happened, it affects my relationships now. I don't know about you.
That's why I'm kind of excited to do this podcast, because it'll help us embrace ourselves and find ourselves more than we already do, and honestly communicating, so that any way we talk to anybody else, we can easily talk about our feelings out loud and not care what anybody thinks.
I think out of the two of us, I'm more emotionally inclined, or not inclined, but I'm more in touch. But how the fuck we both
naturally goes out. Yeah, I'm naturally inclined.
I just think that I've maybe explored my emotions a little bit more than you have. But that's not to say, you put us both in this situation with a camera and we're supposed to talk about love. I'm stuck. It's like I could tell you a million things about it, but I can't get one out of my mouth because it's just indescribable.
But I wrote this down because I once heard something. So how we talk, Grand Rising, because it puts a spell on your conscious.
That's what we say instead of good morning.
Yeah, because we don't want to mourn every day and start off the day with the morning.
We're rising.
So it's a grand rising. Rise and shine, something that could motivate you right away, instantly when you wake up. But it's the same thing with falling in love. They say falling in love when you're falling instead of rising in love.
Dude. I did not know you were gonna say that.
Yeah, it's something I heard before, but those things, speak volume to me because it makes sense, and that's how it should feel. It should feel like you can go outside and yell, or
I feel you.
And that's all I say on that.
See, I say keep going, because that's such a true feeling that I hope everybody's experienced once in their life, and some people haven't. I'd say it took 20 years for me to fucking figure that shit out. You know what I mean? Or feel that emotion.
Yeah. And you should feel that way about yourself. Once you tap in with yourself and you feel your best self, which you'll know when you know, but you really have to put in some work, and then you love everyone. So I can have a friendship with Sam and be happy as hell. No gay, nothing like that.
Chill.
But I'm saying, but just happy to have somebody that I trust and hang out with and have no judgment. Like, wow, since I love myself, even a female, of course, how many you're messing with this chick or so and so, this and that, wow, okay. I don't want to get too deep, but it's generally speaking.
Of course, but I think that also sets aside why we both say that we haven't had a friendship like this, or a brotherhood like this, because maybe we haven't truly felt self-love, at least to the extent that it's at, with growth and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. Also with me, I say, based on my past relationship, I did not love myself at all. And so I'm holding on to your love because I don't have any for myself. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's like that for you with your friends. Maybe it's like that with a spouse or a significant other. Love is addictive, and it hurts whenever it goes away, and it hurts when it stays sometimes. But whenever it's easy, that's true. That's true love. That's pure love.
I just want to say too, because it's just, I want to speak sometimes in detail or specific things, but it's so situational that it's personal, and it should change the meaning in different people's lives, which is love, the meaning of love. People have different meanings because there are different situations and different feelings just all everywhere. So it's always hard, but I forgot where I was going with this too. It's just so much.
That's how I feel with every sentence. I feel like I'm talking to nothing. I'm talking to everything at the same time, you know what I mean?
What was I gonna say?
Bro, don't show it.
Yeah, I heard it's too late. It's gone.
Fuck, man. I say we just go on how do you receive love?
How do you give love?
It's bullshit. Not bullshit, but like we were talking about the love languages.
I think it's simple. It's really someone like me. I'm real particular of what's in my headspace. So if I'm doing anything for you, that's how I love. Like,
I feel
if I'm thinking of you, I'm loving you because I'm thinking of you pretty much. I mean, it's as simple as it gets. If I'm gonna get some food, I'm gonna think of somebody that I'm dealing with at that time or moment.
Yeah.
That's love.
You want some food? Yeah. Bro, I never even thought about that.
That's all it is. Adding them into your headspace is love. Because we all deal with stress every day. We all want to sleep more than we do. It's a forever hamster wheel. We're all in a hamster wheel. So once you're adding someone in your headspace, that's a big deal, for me at least.
Yeah, I feel like I was pretty, I was loose with my love whenever I was younger. I'd give it to everybody. Mm-hmm. and everybody would be in my headspace. I'd always think about everybody and how I could accommodate them, and whether that put their needs above mine, I didn't care. Now that I'm older, now that I've been through some situations and some relationships and friendships and things of that nature, my love is rare. It depends on the love you're referring to, because I have genuine love for everybody.
Yeah.
But my pure love is very rare. There are very few people I do anything for. And I'd say maybe 4 or 5 people in my life, and all of them are really family, except for like you and Jay.
Mm-hmm.
And that ties back into what we were talking about earlier, that like a couple of days ago. It's just solidity and trust and the loyalty that comes with love.
Loyalty.
And T is deserving of my loyalty and my love. If he wasn't acting accordingly, I wouldn't associate with him, and vice versa.
And vice versa. And then with that being on the table, it keeps us both accountable. So maybe one time, maybe I'm battling a spiritual battle, being loyal. But it's like, well, I know Sam would be loyal to me.
Yeah.
So now I have to stay true. So it's just keeping each other straight the whole time, even in a relationship. Because we're really using our friendship as an example of
relationships.
Relationships, love. Like this is how you would treat your
this is how you love,
like you wanna be loyal to them, and they should be loyal to you, and y'all should hold each other accountable with each other's loyalty.
I didn't think that this podcast would go down this road, but it makes a lot of sense. It's like I said, it's an awkward conversation, but not really.
Yeah, right.
Because
it's just very deep.
It's very deep.
And we have to pour a little bit.
Yeah, me and him always joke about we're not gonna get soppy, no soppy shit. Shut the fuck up, love you, bro, bye. But I mean, this is genuine. This is real, and it'd be bullshit if we act like it wasn't. And we know where it stands, so I don't feel uncomfortable telling T I love him, give him a hug, whatever, because that's how I would treat my chick. You know what I mean? Not like that, but that's how it would be in a genuine relationship.
Right.
And I'm very.
Right.
I say whenever I love somebody, I'm comfortable around them. And my true self comes out, you know what I'm saying? Which is a whole other side to me.
For me, man, that's hard. You already know how I am.
I know how you are, yeah.
That will go into our next bullet point, keeping my feelings in reserve. So for me to say I love you is very
sacred.
Very sacred, it's very meaningful, because I'm really a man of my word. Every single word, syllable, vowel. I hate to specify, but I am very intentional with my words. So if I say it, then I have to really mean it. So I'm real cautious on using that word towards certain people, because also certain people can know me and know that I'm a man of my word and hear that and run with it.
Take advantage of you.
Exactly. So you have to just be careful. Well, at least me. Everyone's different. But I'm careful with my feelings and heart.
I think we should all be that way.
Yeah.
And I say we should all be that way because we should all be a man of our word. And we are,
not just something you should just say loosely.
Yeah. I mean, words are powerful. I could, as an example, right, we go out the other night and I'm hyping him up about his outfit, whatever. Oh, you look fresh, oh, whatever. He already knows he looks fresh, right? Pretty flacco. But by me saying these words, I'm throwing love on you. I'm showering you with love and your face, like you blushes, like, you know what I'm saying? Well, not you, but shut the fuck up. But words are powerful. If I came here and I told T, your apartment looks like shit, you're acting like a fucking asshole today. Fuck you, whatever. He can still be confident in himself and say, well, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He can know I'm wrong, but that'll still hurt, I feel like just saying that and thinking about past relationships, saying things you don't mean And just because you don't mean them doesn't mean they weren't said.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and whether it's that in a friendship or a relationship, you have to be very intentional with how you speak to people.
I kind of want to do a little side note.
Come on.
Since we are soul talk, you know, our soul is just talking. I just want to inform our audience or anyone who doesn't know about words and spells, casting spells. A lot of people aren't aware of what our words do and mean and how powerful they are, but that's why I am very intentional with my words, because I do understand that they are spells. And I may sound crazy, but just hear me out.
Not crazy.
It kind of ties in too. That's why I wanted to wait till later to talk about this, so it could all link in with the grand rising.
Yeah.
Rising in love instead of falling in love. You know, those will tell your consciousness and tell your 72 trillion thousands, whatever, cells. Yeah, what you tell yourself is what you believe.
Yeah,
and what you'll become and manifest, all those things. So the words are very intentional. It's like raising a kid. You know, you want to tell them good things.
Yeah,
so when they grow up, they'll have that instilled in them. As well as, say, there's been a study on 2 controlled puddles of water, pretty much. And one is being said every day, I hate you. And the other is, you're great. You're great, you're great. Every day, the other one's, I hate you, I hate you. And the you're great water is healing to the human body and will heal the body. And the other water is bad water, pretty much. It won't help you.
Is that a real study?
Yeah. Water, yeah.
Holy shit, I don't know.
As far as plants, like everything should be good. Music, that's why, you know, I try to just do everything good, so because my body, I want to have the best rewards from,
yeah,
I don't know, my actions.
No, I feel you're right. I feel like, as an example for maybe you guys at home, at least what I think about is, think about the mornings that you wake up and you look in the mirror and you got a fucking fat pimple on your face and you're telling yourself you don't look good. That day is probably not gonna be the best day, man. You know, but if I wake up in the morning, which I try to do every morning, and whenever I go to the gym, I'm looking at myself while I'm working out. I might be fat, but I'm a good-looking motherfucker, right? And just because I'm fat now doesn't mean I'm always gonna be fat.
Right.
You know, I can look at this camera right now. It don't matter. It doesn't matter because I'm constantly telling myself that you're the man. You're gonna.
But it takes honesty and truth too.
Of course.
Some people
that's true.
could be in the same situation.
They
and say,
think they're fat.
yeah, what do you mean? Nah, this is how it's meant to be, or
I'm a big guy.
yeah.
Yeah, fuck out of here.
But once you're honest, you can be accountable and make changes accordingly.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, man, you say that. My whole life I've played football and basketball as well. Well, not so much basketball, but football. You know, people are saying you're just a big guy. You're just a big guy. You're always gonna be a big guy. I'm like 6'4", 6'5". I'm a big fucking guy, but big does not mean fat.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm a tall guy. I got broad fucking shoulders. I'm made to be built, but that does not mean that's an excuse to be obese.
Right.
You know, and maybe that's how it is in those relationships, you know?
Right. Lying.
Yeah.
Not lying or just avoiding the truth.
Yes.
There's
you know,
a difference.
Yeah. Just an excuse to, oh, well, I don't know. I don't know a good example, but there's always an excuse to do the wrong thing, and there's always a reason to do the right thing. And if you're a bullshitter, you're going to choose the excuse. You know, but if you're conscious and genuine, you're going to want to choose the right thing.
I mean, I was touch on the excuse part because I just like to give everyone.
Benefit of the doubt.
No, not even that. I want to give everyone insight, almost like a rule of thumbs. I live by a lot of rule of thumbs, which is like principles. You know, like your principles. It's like the 12 rules of karma. If you haven't heard of that, you should really look into that. It's some good things that you get to live by those things, and that's it. And it's just that simple. But the excuses part is like, how many excuses until you're excused? And you know, you think about that, and we all know the answer. So with that being said, you should think with that on everything you do. When you want to negotiate with yourself, like how many excuses until you're excused? Like you might as well deal with whatever you got going on. To be honest.
As far as excuses go, and I mentioned this because it was on the second podcast we did, maybe first. Whenever I stalled for like a week of the podcast.
Yeah.
Listen,
don't
shut the fuck up.
I drink this. Yeah.
Listen, boy. I mean, brother, not boy. That sounded bad. That sounded really bad. I didn't mean that. Of course, it was an excuse. Let's say the next week I did that again. I did it again the next week. T's gonna say, fuck the podcast. We're not doing the podcast. And I'm pissed off at you, so we're not gonna be as close.
Exactly.
And that's just what it is. But, I mean, it is what it is. I already know, yeah. But, since that one incident, I've been on point. And every day I wake up and it's Wednesday, or if it's whenever we're supposed to film the podcast, I'm there. Now, my week revolves around this because T is important to me. This podcast is important to me. If I didn't have time for it, if I didn't want to put the effort in, I shouldn't have fucking said I'd do it. You know? And yeah, how many excuses until you're excused? And if you want to be excused, that's different. You shouldn't make the excuses.
Because you know what you're saying. He had excuses during this little
I did.
Before our first official episode.
I had family shit.
Yeah, and to be honest, you know, that's why no excuses are gonna excuse you. I didn't care. I didn't care what he had going on. I understand, I'm trying to be a friend and this and that. But you gotta come to the podcast.
And I'll tell you this.
It's like work. Your boss would be like, your cat died? Come to work.
And I think I said that last week. Your boss is like, your cat died? My cat died yesterday. Mm-hmm. You know, everybody always has an excuse to not do these things. And I feel like that was a good lesson for me, and I hope you guys learn from my mistake. But you hear me say it at least once a day, you know, no excuse. There's no excuse. And even with like the menu at work, you were like, yeah, but you know, you're still learning. And I'm like, no, like there's no excuse. And the next day I came in, I'm on point. You know, I'm on point, I'm sharp, I'm a man. I'm a man you call whenever you have a problem because I'm going to deal with that shit.
Yeah.
Because that's how we have to be.
Yeah.
Because only the strong survive.
Yeah.
You know?
And you're only just going to be limiting yourself with the excuses. Because if he believed that excuse, he wouldn't have came in the next day knowing more.
Yeah.
He would have believed and be like, yeah, he's right. I'll come around to it.
Yeah. Nah.
Fuck him. Right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes to make change in this world and to make change in yourself.
To me, that's what a man or a woman is.
We are getting off topic with love, but
we're talking about real shit.
Yeah.
But back to love.
I mean, we pretty much covered all points.
I'll mention on the feelings on reserve point.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say, and I'm talking to you too. My feelings are on reserve, but take a risk. You know, take a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Don't put yourself out there to a point where you're gonna fucking kill yourself over somebody. But if T didn't take a chance on me, we wouldn't be where we're at. You know, if I didn't take a chance on him, we wouldn't be where we're at. You never know until you do it. There's nothing to do it but just to do it. So I would encourage. I'm quoting him. That's my job.
Nothing to it but to do it.
But I just want to encourage you guys, and I'm not here to tell you what to do with your life, but I just want to tell you what changed mine. Man, take a chance on somebody. Love somebody deeply and truly and see what happens. You know, not even romantically, but platonically. Maybe you and your family haven't been on the best terms, man. Show some love and be genuine about it. You know, don't expect nothing in return, but just tell them I love you. And if they don't say it back, that's okay because you were coming from a genuine place. Mm-hmm. Love is hard, love is complicated, but it's a beautiful thing, and it's a natural thing, and I think it's the most precious thing on this earth. So protect your heart, but also protect your peace.
Yeah, so appreciate y'all watching. Again, check out the shirts. Workcrew.bigcartel.com. Check them out. This is a Valentine's drop, right?
Valentine's Day drop. It's already, I believe it's already up on the website. It could not be. I'm gonna shoot him a text now and see what's going on. But there's plenty of designs up there that are fucking dope. Merch, air fresheners, beanies, hats, rolling papers, torches, dab pen, all that kind of shit. So we appreciate you guys watching. We really, really love you guys.
And please.
What?
Comment.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say
subscribe, and also comment because we want some more topics. We have
please.
We have some audience.
Fucking please.
And people love hearing the things, but we want to be more specific for the questions that our audience has.
Absolutely. We want to base this podcast around you guys and also around our life, but we want to grow together. So we love you guys. Stay conscious, stay genuine.